People really don't know what their expenses will be because they don't know how long that they're going to live.
Americans are worried they won't have enough saved for retirement now more than ever.
Retirement is going to cost, for many folks, over $1 million.
Is no sure thing in investing, but a lot of people think that annuities may come close to that.
It's going to more safe things that they know. If they know they're going to need that money to supplement their retirement, well, then you can't play that risk.
This is the Safe Money and Retirement Show with Jon Heischman Sr., founder and partner of Heischman Financial Services, serving the Columbus and surrounding areas. Jon specializes in educating pre-retirees and retirees about safe money strategies and ideas. Now, it's the Safe Money and Retirement Show. Here's Jon Heischman Sr.
This is the Safe Money and Retirement Show, brought to you by your host, Jon Heischman. Thanks for joining me. As with every show, I try to bring you information, education, ideas on how to have a more secure retirement plan. Before I get started, I want to give you the number to call with your questions or to schedule a meeting with me either in person or we can do a conference, a telephone call, whatever works best for you. And throughout the show, I will offer books, articles, and information about what I discuss on the Safe Money and Retirement Show. So write this number down, 888-426-0177, 888-426-0177. I'll repeat it again throughout the show, but I wanted to get that to you before I get into the topic of this morning's show. I talk about retirement planning, income planning, as does many other shows, articles, but many times what isn't discussed prior to a meeting or a call is the funding method for your retirement plan. In other words, where are you going to place your money? That's going to generate an income for you at retirement. And I'm talking about an income on and above Social Security, if you're fortunate enough to have a pension. So where are we going to place these funds for growth and income immediately or later in retirement? As mentioned, there's a lot of different options, and the option that is best for you may not be best for your neighbor. You see, it's about risk tolerance. How much risk can you tolerate in retirement? And believe me, it's all over the board. One of the reasons that our firm, Heischman Financial Services, has always been independent is that we are able to provide our clients with the right funding plan. Meaning, is your money going to be all at risk, or is it going to be all protected in safe money? Going one step further, which we see the majority of the time, is a combination. Part at risk, part safe and protected. But the question is, how much? Is that 50-50? Is that 60-40, 70-30? Once again, it's based on your risk tolerance and how much has to be placed in a strategy that is going to give you additional retirement income. Now, when I say additional retirement income, which many of my regular listeners has heard me say over the years, I'm referring to guaranteed income. When you trigger that additional income, doesn't it make sense that that source of income is going to be guaranteed for the rest of your life. It's an additional pension. It's not defined as a pension like the pension you would have from your employment. It is establishing your own private pension plan that you know that money's going to be there the rest of your retirement, the rest of your life, obviously. So as you prepare, or if you're in retirement, you want control over how you create those sources of guaranteed income. Along with that, we want to make sure that you have the flexibility to adapt if your income needs change. In my opinion, and many others in our industry, feel that the fixed indexed annuity, it's also referred to as an FIA, is a simple contract between you and an insurance company. The fixed index annuity is designed to help you accumulate money for retirement and also provide guaranteed income after you retire. Let me talk about some of the benefits that this plan offers, which include the opportunity to earn interest based on a market index, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, the Russell, and so forth, with tax-deferred growth, income options, and a death benefit option for your beneficiaries. One of the big attractions to this plan is that it has principal protection, meaning it's guaranteed as a no-loss product as far as your money from market downturns. I think this is why the FIA is an ideal plan when a client wants growth, wants to earn interest, no risk whatsoever, and establish the option for a guaranteed lifetime income. The popularity of the indexed annuity over the last 10 years plus has actually become overwhelming. People are starting to learn and hear about this retirement planning concept. One of the reasons that more people are being educated about the indexed annuity is advisors are realizing the importance of this concept in retirement planning. It always used to be the normal was stocks, bonds, mutual funds, brokerage accounts, variable products, which are very important as well. However, risk tolerance test will indicate that there are many people that go into retirement or are retired that don't want risk. Advisors have to understand that, which they do, and in the right situation, they're using this product strictly for those points I have made: the guaranteed income, the guarantee of no loss, no risk, and the potential for above average rate of returns. I'm going to continue with more information after the break, but I want to give you an opportunity to call and request a brochure that one of the companies we work with have put together information about the indexed annuity. It's about 12 pages, very well laid out, And I'd like for all my listeners to have a copy. There is no cost. There's no obligation. I just feel that strongly about incorporating part of your retirement assets into a plan like this. 888-426-0177. Again, 888-426-0177. Be sure to visit our website, HeischmanFS.com, and that is spelled HeischmanFS.com. Stay tuned for the second part of the Safe Money and Retirement show this morning. I'll return after the break.
Thanks for listening to the Safe Money and Retirement Show with Jon Heischman. For more information, call 1-888-426-0177. That's 1-888-426-0177. Or visit their website at HeischmanFS.com. More of the Safe Money and Retirement Show in a moment.
Avoiding mistakes can save owners of IRAs, 401ks, and TSP plans, as well as other retirement plans, a fortune in taxes, penalties, fees, and loads. These potential mistakes are addressed in the free book entitled Top 10 IRA Mistakes. This is Jon Heischman from the Safe Money and Retirement Show, offering a complimentary copy by calling 888-426-0177. Again, that's 888-426-0177.
Life expectancy is at all-time highs, so that means you've got a future to plan for at any age. If you have longevity in your family tree, then you need financial education from someone with the experience and knowledge to guide you into and through your retirement years. Jon Heischman and the folks at Heischman Financial Services are committed to helping you achieve your retirement goals with a low-key and trustworthy approach. Call Heischman Financial Services today to get started on your retirement future. Call 1-888-426-0177. That's 1-888-426-0177. Heischman Financial Services has your future in mind.
All right, your retirement funds, I need you to get with the program and work even harder for me. Give me all you got. That's it. I'm going to need more from you than that if I'm ever going to retire. Is your retirement plan not going as planned? Contact Heischman Financial Services at 1-888-426-0177 to get it back on track and working harder for your future. At Heischman Financial Services, they understand that individuals and couples have their own unique circumstances that need to be considered in order to achieve a safe and successful retirement plan. Heischman Financial Services offers a no-cost, no-obligation discussion of your circumstances and plans. Call 1-888-426-0177. That's 1-888-426-0177 for Heischman Financial Services, or visit their website at HeischmanFS.com. That's www.HeischmanFS.com. Get your retirement funds working harder for you with Heischman Financial Services, 1-888-426-0177.
The goals of good retirement planning are to help each individual to end up with more money at the end of the day, but also provide more income during retirement. And this creates a less stressful investment experience, especially in times like this. I like to emphasize and stress stronger financial understanding. Not only could you have greater wealth, more income, and a better night's sleep, you should also have a stronger grasp of your own financial standing. With a strong retirement plan in place, you're going to know exactly what you can withdraw from your retirement accounts every month, how much you need to live comfortably, and how long your savings is going to last. This is Jon Heischman, your host with the Safe Money and Retirement Show, 888-426-0177, 888-426-0177.
Welcome back to the Safe Money and Retirement Show with Jon Heischman. To contact Jon, the number to call is 1-888-426-0177. That's 1-888-426-0177. Once again, here's Jon Heischman.
This is Jon Heischman. I'm back for the second part of our show this morning, where I've been discussing the advantages of the indexed annuity being part of your retirement plan. They're designed to give the potential for accumulation and also provide a guaranteed lifetime income when you turn the income on. That could be immediately, or it could be delayed indefinitely. For example, in 5 or 10 years, when additional income is needed. As far as the accumulation benefit, you're going to have several options to grow the contract values. At the same time, you're going to lock in the index performance or growth that it received from the previous year. Once the growth is accredited to your account, the only way it can be reduced or go down in value is if you make withdrawals. For example, income withdrawals. I like it because it gives you total control over your plan with the flexibility of generating that additional income. Now, when you start taking income, you have the potential to receive income increases. I really like that because we're addressing inflation. While you're receiving income, you're still accumulating growth. So I'll give you an example. If you withdraw 5% for income and you earn 5% in growth, you've replaced the income withdrawals that you took. It also has the potential for higher gains, which I've seen much higher in the past. For example, let's say there's a year where you get 8%, maybe 9% growth. Your growth is more than what you took out using that 5% withdrawal rate. And when I talk about the gains or the growth, the money that is in your account, it's not invested in the stock market, so you're not going to lose anything during a market downturn. To be honest, in a bad year, there could be a situation where your gains are 1%, 2%, or the worst case scenario, 0%. And of course, in that situation, that's where 0 is your friend. Point being, you'll never lose a dime. Once per year on your anniversary date, you're going to have the option to reallocate the accumulation value into different strategies. Now, these different strategies could be tied to the S&P 500 index, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, or the Russell, and repositioned once per year. And because the growth is tied to the growth of an index, no stocks, That's how the companies can guarantee you'll never lose a dime. Part of my job is to study and use a little bit of strategy to advise which indexes should be used in a given year. Now, this may sound a little bit complicated, but it's really not. Once this concept is explained to you, you'll see just how easy it is to understand the indexed annuity. My job is to explain that and educate you and possibly see if it should be a part of your retirement plan. And if it should not be, I'll be the first to say, you don't need this. However, if a portion should be, mainly focusing on income if you're in retirement, I'm going to point out how it could be to your advantage. 888-426-0177. 888-426-0177. Give me a call. Many of you already have taken advantage of the indexed annuity and it's become part of your retirement portfolio. Those that haven't, I'd love to talk to you. I want to go back and touch on what I talked about a little bit ago about how your income can increase. Remember I mentioned the different index options that are available? Every time your chosen allocation, whether it's in the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ or the Russell or the Dow, when it earns interest, your income can increase based on the increase that you've received from these indexes. It's a great way to address the rising cost of living over a long retirement period. Another advantage when we're talking about increased income, each time your income goes up, it's locked in. Now, your income goes up from these increases in the index that I referred to. Your income withdrawals go up, and that amount becomes your new baseline as you continue into retirement. Your lifetime income amount cannot drop. It can only stay steady, or it has the potential to increase. As far as a death benefit, of course, the income would stop and the full account value would be paid to the beneficiary. So I'm looking at how this is going to benefit my client and their beneficiary. I want to be able to provide an increasing income for their future in retirement. And I also want to grow the account because that has several advantages. One being, if the client wants to stop taking income for whatever reason, there's that accumulated value and providing a strong death benefit for the beneficiary. Index annuities are used quite often for individual retirement accounts. And over the past, I would say 6 to 7 years, I have seen an enormous amount of 401ks that roll over to IRAs going into this type of plan. And speaking of IRAs, and those of you that are getting ready to roll over your 401ks, you really need to take a strong look at these benefits. I also want you to take a look at the book I sponsor, Top 10 IRA Mistakes. It will provide information about indexed annuities and what you need to look for in preventing potential mistakes in your IRA accounts and when you roll over a 401k or any other qualified retirement account to an IRA. It's a complimentary copy. There are no strings attached, no obligations. Just let me know if you would like a copy, and I will also include the benefits of the indexed annuity along with that. As I mentioned earlier in the show, it is very consumer friendly. It's about 12 pages. It's a good read and a tremendous educational piece. 888-426-0177. I'll repeat that, 888-426-0177. Thank you for tuning in this morning. I do appreciate that and encourage you to tune in next week, the same time. This is your host, Jon Heischman, with the Safe Money and Retirement Show.
The Safe Money and Retirement Show with Jon Heischman Sr. To get in touch with Jon, call 1-888-426-0177. That's 1-888-426-0177. For more information about Heischman Financial Services, visit their website, HeischmanFS.com. That's HeischmanFS.com. Join us again next time for the Safe Money and Retirement Show with Jon Heischman Sr.